I went from having the #1 book in my niche on Amazon KDP to not being able to give any copies away. I'll let you know how and why and what I did about it on today's episode of The Creator's Journey. Hey folks, welcome back to The Creator's Journey. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Gary Karp and I'm a self-published author. Back in 2012, I was a life coach and I was struggling to get clients. I had seen coaches all around me be successful and have their calendars booked, sometimes double booked. And the fact that I couldn't get a client really made me feel like a failure. What's worse is that I couldn't pay my bills. And hitting up my buddies and my family for a small loan, well, that made me feel less than a man, as if I couldn't take care of myself and my family. I thought I was doing everything I was supposed to. I mean, I was networking my ass off. I was going to BNI, the Chamber of Commerce, Toastmasters, half a dozen different network groups that I found on meetup.com. But still, I couldn't find clients. I still remember the last networking group I went to. It was held at this small bar and it was overcrowded. We were all stuck in there like sardines, shoulder to shoulder. You couldn't move. There was so much noise, I had to yell to speak to the person who was standing next to me. And everybody I met was either an insurance agent or a financial advisor. These people were not my tribe. I didn't even hand out any business cards that night. I left that networking gig early, walked out into the cold, damp New York night, my suit getting wet from the rain. And I just found a bench on Fifth Avenue and I sat down and I started to cry. I knew I could help people, but I couldn't find anyone to take as a client who wanted me to help them. I didn't know what to do. I talked to my business mentor at the time about how I was feeling and that I wanted to give up. And she told me that I needed to write a book. She explained to me that when you write a book, you immediately become known as an expert in your niche and you get an elevated status. And this elevated status means that people will start to come to you because they will look at you as that expert. And you will start getting invites to talk on podcasts, to write guest blogs. And that soon, through that, people will find you and will hire you. And this is how you're going to get clients, Gary, she told me. So, for the next 2 years, I wrote my first book. And I studied everything there was on Amazon KDP and on CreateSpace. And it worked. In 2014, I published my first book, Clarity is Power. And it immediately became a bestseller in my niche on Amazon. A year later, I published my second book, Clear Visions. And this became my first #1 bestseller in my niche on Amazon on Kindle Unlimited. I was selling books. I was getting nice royalty checks. people were coming to me and asking me to be interviewed for their podcasts, for their blogs, for networks and radio and magazine articles and newspapers. I was even asked to speak on stages around the country. And as my mentor told me, I also started to get clients. And then Amazon decided that they were no longer going to support the self-published independent author. They yielded to the traditional publishers and started to focus more of their energy on them and change their algorithms to benefit more of the traditional publishers. And I saw my book sales plummet. And my commissions, well, they weren't even enough to get a Venti Frappuccino from Starbucks. It was at that moment I learned I couldn't rely solely on Amazon, that I couldn't put all my books in one basket, the Amazon basket. So I decided I was going to sell my books and my services to my customers directly. But there was a problem with that. You see, Amazon doesn't share customer information with their authors. So although I sold a lot of books, I didn't know who bought them. And I didn't know how to contact them. My plan was at that moment to learn everything I could about online marketing and direct response marketing. And so I studied landing pages and lead magnets and mailing lists and sales funnels. And soon, I had sold over 5,000 copies of my books directly to my customers. More importantly, I was building a mailing list and developing a relationship with my customers that I would be able to leverage again and again and again. I was building my tribe of true fans. And I felt great. I had sold those 5,000 books. I had basically given Amazon the big old finger. And I was doing it on my own. And I started telling people, my coaching friends, my author friends, about what I had done. I had used this and incorporated it into my elevator pitch when I was going to my networking events. And everyone, all my coaches' friends, everybody I met at networking gigs, all my author friends, they all looked at me and they said, wait a second, could you do that for me? Could you show me how to do that? And so that's what I did. And I helped them grow their own tribe and sell their own books without the use of Amazon. Something incredible happened when I started doing that. I realized that by helping authors and coaches and consultants spread their message to their tribe and sell their books directly to their tribes, I could help more people. I could positively impact more people than I could if I just did it for myself. And so that's why I pivoted from being a life coach to being an online business consultant that helps self-published authors and coaches and consultants spread their message. And right now, I'm actually working on my first novel. Matter of fact, I just signed up for NaNoWriMo, and I'm going to use NaNoWriMo to hopefully finish the first draft of my first novel. And my goal is to apply the same principles that I used for my nonfiction self-help books to the novel and to sell over 100,000 copies. Now, will I make it? Well, I'm going to invite you to join me on the journey as I share the highs, the lows, the struggles, the challenges, the successes, and I'll share the secrets on how to market directly to your tribe, how to sell directly to your customers, and how to build that engaged following of true fans so that you don't have to rely on Amazon either. So right now I invite you, if you haven't done already, please subscribe to the channel by hitting the subscribe button. I think it's over here or somewhere over here. And don't forget to ring the bell, because you'll be notified whenever I release a new video, which is usually once every week, 2 weeks tops. This one's a little late. I think we're going up on 3 weeks. I apologize for that. So until the next time, keep writing and let me know, how do you sell to your customers? Do you sell directly? Do you use Amazon? Or is there something else that you use as your main thoroughfare?